Hi everyone, pleasure to be here today. We're going to be speaking on turning projects into profits. So this is a very ambitious webinar. We've got 4 different products on display. I've got Adam here from Benji Pays, who's going to be demonstrating the payment gateway and their integration into Halo. I've also got Mike as well from ScalePad, who'll be demoing Quota and their integration into Halo for quote creation. Adam, do you want to introduce yourself briefly?
Yeah, I'm Adam Crandall. I'm the CEO and founder of Benji Pays. Super excited to be here and show what I think is like a really great process. Can help a lot of folks out. Yeah, good to be here.
And Mike?
Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Mike Walsh, Chief Product Officer at ScalePad. And I'm also very excited to be here speaking about projects and how to drive more of them, how to execute them smoothly, and how to get paid, of course, with Quota and Benji Pays. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Like I said, introduce myself a little bit. So I'm Alex. I'm a product specialist here at Halo. So I'm going to be demonstrating both the opportunity management process when quotes are integrated and accepted into the Halo system, and also how to best manage project delivery post-sale. So I guess just to talk through the agenda briefly, what we really want to focus on today is why project-based work matters both to yourselves as the MSP and to the clients that you're working with. We are aware that winning projects is hard and managing the revenue from those projects can be a challenge as well. And we really want to emphasize that with the combination of HaloPSA, Benji, and ScalePad, we really are better together, and we should hopefully be able to eliminate some of the issues that you guys may be facing in your project delivery process currently.
Awesome. So yeah, like Alex said, we've got four products to show today, and it's very ambitious for a 60-minute webinar, but we've got 3 very product-centric folks, and we wanted to show really an end-to-end workflow here, going from project discovery through payment and ultimately, revenue recognition. But before we jump into the demo, and I promise I'll keep this short, I just want to speak very briefly about, why winning projects is hard, and what are some tips and techniques that you can perhaps employ to drive more projects and get more alignment with your clients and more projects accepted. So I lifted this slide from a colleague and good friend of mine, Luis Giraldo, who's been field testing this out on the event circuit. It always gets a good reaction, but I think many of you can probably relate to the obligatory freight train that is the client in your QBR meeting when you're presenting that project, trying to get that approval, and then you get railroaded by some sticky reactive issue like, hey, why isn't our CEO's laptop here that was ordered 2 days ago? Or, by the way, just wanted to give you the heads up that we're moving offices next week. So, QBRs can be a challenge. It can be challenging getting your clients and the executives to actually show up. It can be a challenge getting them to actually approve projects and buy into, what you're putting in front of them. So I want to speak very briefly about that before I kick off the demo here. So there's obviously a gap in that case where the client again shows up to the QBR and there's clearly a misalignment. And on the one hand, the best clients out there, they really do want that strategic business partner that's focused proactively on delivering business outcomes with technology, that's focused on the client's business, their industry, what they're trying to achieve, how technology can help. The conversations are centered around the business. And in this case, the MSP is seen as the value driver. So I think this is what we all want. Obviously, it's that elusive strategic business partner relationship. And of course, however, many MSPs are perceived by their clients as the reactive, tactical IT services provider, the IT help desk, the company that helps fix my IT problems, that focuses on technology, that talks technology. And this is also a good example where QBRs often become centered around the technology itself. And, maybe you have this process of stack alignment, for example, and clients often see through the QBR process as a sales tool in disguise. So it can result in this perception of the MSP being a cost center versus a value driver. So this relationship or this reactive journey all kind of starts at the beginning with an unclear start where there's no real elicitation of the client's business goals and what they're trying to achieve. There's no definition of success or understanding where the client is going. And that can result in a false sense of stability. Maybe the client is onboarded, it seems like things are going well over time. I guess no news is good news, but really there's no clear roadmap. The client's not sure what's coming next. And ultimately the client can sort of start to check out. This results in the tactical trap where your QBRs often become tactical reviews. It's the need to feel or the feeling to reiterate the value and remind clients what you've done for them lately, which results in sharing, ticket-related stats around response times or SLAs or CSAT perhaps. But ultimately, the client isn't really interested in that. It's just kind of expected. And this can result in the erosion of trust over time, where the lack of focus on business outcomes makes the relationship feel disposable, feel just like IT, which can result in a quiet breakup over time where maybe another MSP comes along that gets it, understands their business a little bit better, or they find someone else that's willing to do the job for cheaper. So there's not really that foundation of stickiness. So a few quick tips again before we get into the demo, and I promise I'll get off the soapbox here. Tip number one is focus on customer success. And you've probably seen ScalePad out in the market recently talking a lot about this. We're all about helping you all go from MSP to MVP for your partners. And it's all about shifting the conversation from service delivery to results delivery and ensuring your clients achieve their desired business outcomes using your services. We've got lots of tips and techniques on this. Our website is a great resource. We've got a customer success guide that you might check out with some advice around how to get started. But it all stems from having better conversations centered around the client's business, learning their industry inside and out, and focusing on the initiatives, the projects that you recommend, the value that you provide to the value of the business and their goals. And then from there, it's about delivering business impact, measurable outcomes, presenting materials that are already aligned with the roadmap that you've agreed on. And customer success and Lifecycle Manager X are all about that and can be key drivers in helping you bring more project revenue. Tip number two, don't burn a lot of overhead on creating quotes. So Quoter is all about automating quote to cash. You shouldn't spend a lot of time on your quotes, although I know many of you do. The quote really is, again, a formality. It's kind of the rubber stamp after you've hopefully already got buy-in and alignment from the client on the initiative, and why it matters to their business. So the quote is really the rubber stamp. It's about getting paid. You shouldn't spend a lot of time on it. And Quoter allows you to automate through standardization and workflows 90% of the work that goes into creating quotes. So you don't have to start from scratch every time, and you can democratize quoting across your team. I'll kick it over to you, Adam.
Yeah, so from there, once you've got that quote created, you want to be able to make it as easy as possible to get paid. So we built what we think is a really great workflow, really easy to use between Quoter and Benji Pays for quote acceptance to get that quote to cash. And make sure like everything is reconciled and easy to connect to your invoices later on. So yeah, really you just want to make sure like once you have that quote sent out, like getting paid for it shouldn't be difficult. Otherwise, it's just another barrier to getting the project started and moving forward. But Alex?
Yeah, I think what we're really trying to push on the Halo side is using Halo's reporting suite and out-of-the-box dashboard functionality to really leverage data-driven insights in order to track project performance, boost productivity, and also showcase these results to your clients. So whether that's internal facing reports or dashboards where we can display information to project managers so they can see at a glance the health of their projects, ongoing work, anything that's currently over budget, and also being able to leverage Halo's self-service portal and some of the other client-facing functions that we've got to really show and demonstrate that value that you're adding for your clients as well.
Yeah, and from there, like once you've got that initial acceptance, Benji Pays is all about helping you drive your DSO, your days sales outstanding down, and improving your cash flow, right? So you're going to have ongoing invoices or sales orders from that project or other projects, or your monthly recurring invoices. And you want to try to automate that happy path and just really, again, make it so your team doesn't have to spend time on the minutia of the admin that they may be doing right now, or it might be you. And so by automating as many of the steps around your accounts receivable, You've got Halo doing your billing for you, generating those invoices. Those get into your accounting system, into Benji Pays, and hopefully 99% of them are just dealt with automatically, and your payments flow, and you come in the day of your monthly billing, and money's in the bank account. And that's what we get out of bed every day to do, and help make sure your business is running as efficiently as possible when it comes to getting cash in the bank. So automate the happy path, automate the chasing as well. So Benji Pays has a number of tools in it for getting reminders out to your customers for overdue invoices, the escalating language, et cetera. It's like very configurable, easy to set up your rules, and just chase after that money automatically, so your team can focus on what's important, delivering and selling.
Awesome. All right, I think that's enough preamble, but let's get into it. Again, we've got an ambitious demo here with 4 products and 1 complete end-to-end workflow. It's a lot to cover. This is what happens when you get 3 product people into a room together. This came out of a very complicated Miro board. So what we want to show today is going again from pitch, going from really a goal-aligned roadmap and budget that you build in Lifecycle Manager X, through meeting with the client, presenting the QBR deliverable, getting approval, creating the opportunity in HaloPSA for pipeline management, and then creating and sending a quote through Quoter linked to that opportunity, which we will accept on behalf of the client, and then pay for it using Benji Pays, which will trigger a workflow in HaloPSA to create and implement the project. And then once it's been actually executed, you can invoice the balance owing through Halo, and then use Benji Pays to completely automate your accounts receivable and even reconcile your books with QuickBooks. So this is, obviously I'm opinionated, but this is pretty much the ideal stack, I want to say, when it comes to project management, going end to end from discovery through to payment and even recognition in your books. All right, so let's flip over to Lifecycle Manager. And I want to get started by just talking a little bit about the history of Lifecycle Manager. So we very recently, as of days ago, celebrated our 10th anniversary of Lifecycle Manager, previously Warranty Master way back in the day. Many of you use it today, and I'm sure many of you have used it in the past. And it started with asset lifecycle management, best in class around lifecycle and warranty renewal for your hardware, and of course even software. And what we've done in the last year, we've actually spent really about 18 months completely reimagining the product for customer success. And what we've built is the system of record for customer success. And you might say, well, HaloPSA is my system of record, which of course it is, but Halo is really all about the present and the past when it comes to tickets, projects, time, billing, invoicing, managing your team. But what ScalePad is, or Lifecycle Manager is it's all about the system of record for strategy, for client initiatives and recommendations, your roadmap, your budget, your gap assessments, even analytics across your entire environment. And so we've built this on top of the foundation of Lifecycle Manager with all the asset infrastructure that we have, what we call ScalePad OS. And I just want to give a bit of that background in what you see here. And we've really shifted the entire platform to be centered around the client, just as it should be in your business. So the HaloPSA integration, which again is actually brand new, it's not even officially announced, so I guess I'm announcing it today. What we've done is we've integrated with HaloPSA's clients, contacts. You can pull in all your hardware assets, your contracts, your tickets, your opportunities. We can sync back and forth. And what we have as well is an analytics feature where we actually add BI on top of the data, time and billing data from HaloPSA directly. So I'm really excited about that. It's not even officially been announced quite yet, but I'm going to show some of that today. All right, so I'm going to make some assumptions here for this demo. We're working with this fictitious client here, Terry's Chocolates, no affiliation, although Christmas is coming up. And so I want to assume that we've already done some business discovery. So let's say we've leveraged our Client IQ feature, which essentially does AI deep research on the client's business and their industry to give you MSP-specific context and recommend questions as well as topics to bring to your QBRs to drive more strategic conversations. The goal here is to help you ask more consultative questions that are specific to the client and their industry that will drive more conversations around goals, business risks, business challenges, so you can ultimately capture your client's goals, which are very central to Lifecycle Manager X. So the goal that I'm going to work with in this example here is increasing employee productivity with modern tools. Great business goal, especially with AI these days. and that's kind of the basis we're gonna work from. So we've got a QBR meeting or an annual business review coming up on November 21st. We've also done some work building out a roadmap. So there's some things in there for Q4. And then for Q1, we've got this Copilot implementation. I'm sure a lot of you are rolling these out today. It's a great opportunity to improve productivity for your clients, obviously. So this is in the proposal phase. We're going to talk about that and how we would drive that through with the client and align with the client's own goal of increasing productivity. We've also done some work assessing gaps for the clients. We've got a number of assessments here. AI readiness is the example that I will show. So we can see that is at 47%. There's clearly a gap in technology infrastructure, although there is some strategic alignment, operational readiness, and a good data foundation. So again, that can help us drive the conversation in the way that the client is going to understand and resonate with. And then we've also got contracts here, which again are pulled in directly from HaloPSA. Another great catalyst for strategic conversations is contract expiration. You can bring in your third-party contracts as well, which again can live in Halo. We've got this Shadow IT AI tool contract ending December 31st, which is a great catalyst again for driving a Copilot implementation. We've also, of course, got all of the insights across your client environment from hardware, software, et cetera, as you've come to expect from Lifecycle Manager. Okay, so let's jump over to the meetings area here. I'm just going to load up this annual business review to show briefly what you can do here. So we built out this meeting, which you can templatize across all your different kind of meetings. We've got an agenda here, which is going to be very business centric, of course. We're heading into annual planning with the client. We've got their executive team showing up, we're going to assume. So again, it's a great way to drive the conversation. We've got our attendees here who's coming from our team, the client's attendees, their contacts, which are pulled directly from HaloPSA. We've got the business goals that we're going to discuss, including increasing employee productivity. And then we've got a QBR deliverable, which is this Q4 board presentation that we've prepared. I'll show that in a second. From here, I can add it to the calendar directly, which I can send to the client. I can link a PSA ticket created with a status and ticket type directly in Halo as well for time tracking. We can link any relevant initiatives or project proposals here, such as this Copilot implementation. And then we can, of course, capture meeting notes and action items for this meeting. So again, what we built here with Lifecycle Manager X is really the system of record for that strategic context across your clients. And it's going to really make it easy to centralize all that and democratize that knowledge across your team. All right, so let's flip over to deliverables and briefly just show what we've done here. So deliverables, you can think of as a package of reports, and really makes it easy to build out executive-ready QBR reports. You can add all kinds of things from Lifecycle Manager, including hardware lifecycle, software summary, assessment reports, Microsoft 365, roadmaps, initiatives, budgets. We're putting a lot of effort into this quarter. We've got some really exciting things coming out at our Ignition event on January 29th. And in this case, though, I'm going to assume, again, we're meeting with the executive team. So I want to keep this deliverable really high level. I don't want to get lost in the weeds. And so I've added a couple of assessment summary reports. For example, the technology alignment assessment, which is something that you might want to do once a year to show how your client is trending over time. And by the way, these assessment templates, we've got a number of standards aligned templates that are out of the box available to you. They're all fully customizable, though, of course. We've also got our AI readiness assessment template. Again, just a summary. I'm not going to show the comparison or the full assessment report because I don't want to include too much detail. We've got a roadmap report showing the roadmap for 2026. Again, high level, not a detailed roadmap overview. And then last but not least, we've got a budget report and a contract report, which again can be good conversation drivers. I'm just going to click view to download this report. Let's open that up here. So I'll just quickly scan over because I'm already burning time here, but we've got our, again, executive ready, beautiful report that was basically one click showing the overall assessment report or assessment score, sorry, for technology alignment, clearly showing a gap around business applications. So that's another way to drive the conversation toward Copilot. We've got a high-level assessment summary per category. Again, all of this is customizable. And then we've got our AI readiness assessment showing the scores at 47%, clearly room for improvement. Technology infrastructure is where the biggest gap is in this case. We might speak to the fact that they have a great data foundation to build on, however. And then I'm going to scroll down quickly to the roadmap. So we can see for Q1 2026, we've got a number of initiatives, including our Copilot implementation, which is a high priority initiative that has been proposed or is being proposed. We've got a number of initiatives that have been approved, one of which that's been declined. We've got some detail here where you probably want to put, outcomes for the client. How is this going to help improve productivity linked directly to the goal here? And then we've got a number of other items that I'm not going to speak to. And then we've got our budget, which is really just a one sort of slide or screen view of the 2026 budget and what the client can expect, which is a great way to create predictability for the client and predictable revenue for you. So for 2026 Q1, we're showing 57K. Q4 is obviously a big spike, so we'd want to speak to that, of course. But our Copilot implementation project is for Q1, so that's probably where we're going to focus in for now. And then again, we've got our contracts here as well. Okay, so let's assume now the meeting's gone swimmingly. The client says, thumbs up, let's go. Copilot sounds great. We're going to hop over to the roadmap. We've got the Kanban view here for the full roadmap. I'm going to click on Copilot implementation. Now from here, we're going to change the status to approved. And I could create a HaloPSA ticket, which has all the detail here again with the ticket status and type for Halo. Or I could link an existing opportunity or create a new HaloPSA opportunity. I'm not going to do that. My window's in the way here. It's out of the way. But you can fill in, the contact, the assigned agent, type, description, and all of that, of course. Or I could link an existing opportunity like this Copilot one I've already got open here. So I'm going to link that. I'm going to save it. And it's now linked over to HaloPSA. So again, this has been approved. Next up is the rubber stamp that is the quote. I can flip over to quoter here. I've already got it loaded up. So just in the interest of time, let's go new quote. I've got a Copilot implementation project quote template that I've already built out here. So I'm going to start with that. It's already got a cover page and a cover letter built out. I'm not going to show that for now though. I'm going to search HaloPSA for contacts directly. I'm going to search for Terrence of Terry's Chocolates, and it's going to pull in all those details from Halo. And at this point, I could create the Halo opportunity here if I wanted as well, or I could link it up to the existing opportunity. We've got a few from the testing that we've done, but you can link an existing opportunity. What we'll do at this point, or when the quote is created, is we'll create a quotation in Halo. We're going to map all of these line items over to that quotation, which is linked up to that opportunity, to make it really easy to procure or fulfill or implement that project in Halo when you get there. And then also, you can include products and services directly from your Halo catalog as well. So if you want to centralize all your products and services in Halo, you can do that. You can link them directly to the quote template and keep everything standardized. So let's include a readiness and governance assessment. Let's include this bundle here, which has some tenant enablement and managed optimization. We're also going to include some training. And then we've got some optional items for the client. They can pick or choose these directly on the quote if they want. So let's say there's security and compliance hardening and an automation pack. Now we've got our total one-time fees at $9,500. If there was recurring, you would see them there as well. We've got a manager approval workflow feature where, if a member of your team was creating the quote and they exceeded any dollar threshold that you set or didn't meet the margin requirement, they see a sort of orange box here highlighting where they need to make improvements. But again, just keeping it really simple for this demo. All kinds of things that you can attach here, shipping and tax settings and all that. Again, I'm not going to show. I could preview the quote at that point or save it as a draft. But again, I'm just going to go ahead and publish that and open it up as the client. At this point, normally you would send it off by email. We track the delivery of that. We track when the client has opened or clicked on the quote. But again, just keeping this demo simple in the interest of time. I'm going to open the web view, the quote as the client would see it. So we've got this beautifully designed, professional, accurate quote that I literally created in seconds. Maybe a trivial example of a project. Obviously, there's a lot of projects that you do that are much more complicated and need an engineer to be involved in speccing out. But for a lot of the things, like a Copilot implementation, they're relatively simple and you can really standardize what you're doing. But in this case, we've got a cover page that's been automated with the client's name. We've got a cover letter, same thing, merge tokens or automating exactly what's going into that content. And then we've got our quote with the line items, including the one-time fees, one-time subtotal, and our optional items. So these are different sections. You can customize all the sections. You can add your recurring fees and split those off as well. The client can pick or choose these options here. We'll update this one-time total on the fly. But let's just assume the client's going to accept all of it because he did such a great job in that QBR. And I'm going to go ahead and accept the quote. Now, we can see that a deposit payment is required to submit an order. So on the template within Quoter, you can customize pretty much anything. No professional services required. You can change all the content. You can change all the settings. You can configure your deposit payment to require a full payment. You can make it optional. But in this case, we've got a deposit at 50%. We've got some terms and conditions for accepting the quote. I'm going to pretend I read all that as everyone does and click continue to payment after I fill in the city. And that's going to kick us over to Benji Pays. So Adam, if you want to speak to this, I'll start filling out this form. We can go
Absolutely. So what just happened, we have a handshake. There's a simple API setup that takes, I did it yesterday. It took me a couple minutes, some support articles on our website, as well as ScalePad's quoters. But what's happened is we're aware of that quote. And we're presenting the customer the way to pay, in this case by credit card. There's also the option to pay by ACH if you want to have that set up. And this is super simple. When they pay, we're going to, your team's going to get notified of that. Quoter's going to get notified of that, and they're going to update the quote on their side. And Right. So in this case, we've actually got surcharging enabled. So surcharging is a way for you to help reduce your cost of getting paid. And generally, you would tie that, combine that with the option for bank payments, ACH payments, giving your customers the option of choosing ACH for free, or they can use their credit card, get their points, but there's a fee to that. In this case, it's probably set to 3%. I haven't done the math there. So they have to accept that. Benji Pays will do all the accounting around that and make sure you don't have to do any extra accounting or bookkeeping around that. And I believe Quoter will also show that as well, right, Mike?
Yes, that's right. Now,
yeah,
at this
so in
point,
that case, it's go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say it's paid. So
It's paid, yeah.
depending on your payment processor, how we've got you configured, money in the bank as early as tomorrow. So
yeah, that's awesome. And the deposit, of course, is a great way to de-risk the project, make sure that you get some money coming in the door before you start procuring all of that hardware. Although in the case of Copilot, maybe not as relevant. But at this point, so the payment's been made, the quote has been accepted. Now there's a workflow that's going to be triggered where the quote will be marked accepted in HaloPSA, and that can action the workflow on the Halo side. So I'm going to stop sharing and stop talking. Hopefully I didn't take up too much time. I'll kick it over to Alex, and he's going to talk about Halo.
Yeah, thank you, Mike, and thank you, Adam. Yeah, absolutely. This is the part where we're kind of moving over into HaloPSA. Super excited to see that new lifecycle manager integration, Mike. I think that's going to be a real value add going into those QBRs. And I've kind of been watching this opportunity progress from Halo as you guys have been clicking around and seeing everything update via those integrations. So what we've got here is the initial opportunity that Mike linked from Lifecycle Manager at that stage. So we've got our Copilot implementation project opportunity, and we've got on the right-hand side here the information about the customer we're dealing with, so Terence from Terry's Chocolate. We've got the current stage of this opportunity with its status and assigned agent. We can set automation rules to automatically assign those agents when it is synced in from Lifecycle Manager. And we've also got the quotation created from Quota that is automatically synced in and has been marked as accepted on the Halo side as well. So if I click into that, you'll see all of the line items that Mike added to the Quota quote. So those have all been added in with the correct quantities and prices. You'll see the status of that quote has automatically been marked as accepted once we went through the process in Benji Pays. And based on that acceptance, we've had a sales order automatically created. So within Halo, it'll be from the sales order that we can start actioning those post-sales activities, generating the projects, invoicing, etc. So I'll show you that in just a second. What I wanted to show you guys just to start with is just a few of the automations and workflow processes that we have available within Halo, some of which have been added quite recently, that can really make the opportunity management process as seamless as possible, and also ensure that you're capturing all of the necessary data points required for reporting on won sales, pipelines, etc. So looking at this opportunity, I'm going to hit this qualify action. So this would potentially be done at an earlier stage, but I got the short straw and I'm last on the demo list, so I'll show you it now. But this is where we're capturing all of that kind of supplementary information around this opportunity that can then be tied into those back-end reports I was talking about. So we can capture what kind of opportunity it is, how many employees, how did they hear about us, what industry are they in? And this view is completely customizable. So we can add in any additional custom fields, any additional data points you'd like to capture at this stage. We can add in additional options for this opportunity type, and we can have these fields dynamically appear and disappear based on the selections you make in other fields against the action. So if I fill this in, this will all be captured against the opportunity ticket. I'm going to briefly talk about reporting capabilities as well. So within everyone's Halo environment, there will be a stock of out-of-the-box reports that we have deemed useful for the over 3,000 implementations that we've done historically. These are all segmented by group that you see on the left-hand side here, and this should give you a really in-depth list of stock reports that you can kind of pick out and add to your reports list to really drill down on the data that we were capturing across the business. So one of the benefits of utilizing HaloPSA as a CRM and sales tool as well is that we have all of our data across your business captured in one place. So we've got all of our service statistics and time entry, all of our project delivery data, as well as our sales pipelines and revenue, all captured within one system. So that eliminates the need for BI tools or other plugins to kind of consolidate data into one place. Everything can be managed from within Halo with our reporting, out-of-the-box reporting, and also the ability to create custom reports as and when needed. So if I go into this opportunity, what I also want to show you is an automation we've added in a few months ago now, which is the ability to automatically generate statements of work based on the quote that is attached to this opportunity ticket. So if I hit this, what this is going to do is it's going to look through the quote lines that I've selected in here. And what I've done prior to this call is I've added in some pre-templated SOWs against each one of the line items on that quote. So what it's going to do is it's going to look at those templates, it's going to consolidate them. We've also got a process that will send it over to AI for further consolidation if there's multiple templates added together. And what this will do when I hit save is it's going to automatically populate the statement of work field that I've got against my opportunity ticket. So this is a very brief statement of work that I've put together prior to this call, just outlining the project overview for our Copilot implementation, and also the scope of work and expectations and deliverables that we're going to introduce as part of this Copilot onboarding project. So that is all completely automated. As I say, it will support multiple statements of work templates, and that is looking at your quotation lines and figuring out, based on the lines that are available against this quote, what statement of work should be pulled into that opportunity ticket. And from there, we can use that to demonstrate expectations to clients, maybe through some of the initial meetings that we're having, or display that to your project managers from the project ticket once that ticket is kicked off. So from here, I'm going to go into the sales order. So as I mentioned, this sales order was automatically created once the quote was paid for and approved in Benji Pays and Quota. So this sales order will already be present as soon as the user has accepted the quotes. And you'll see that based on some backend configuration, the system knows what each one of these products relates to, and I can therefore easily start performing those post-sale admin tasks to start delivering on the services that were quoted as part of this deal. So for example, against my configuration and tenant enablement line, I have this ability to create a project. So I can hit that option now. That will automatically spin up the project ticket if I needed to add any hardware that was related to that project as well. I can use this add to project option, and that will display the hardware associated with the project to your PMs, and they can consign and mark it as delivered directly from their project ticket. What I can also do is if I actually click into this project is I can see that all of the tasks and all of the phases and milestones associated with this have been pre-templated out in the back end. So it's automatically spun up each task. We can again have assignment rules that would assign it to a certain PM or engineer based on skills-based matching or load balance based on their current availability. And all of those tickets will be ready to go at the click of a button. You'll also see that my start and target dates for each one of these tasks has also been pre-populated. Again, that is pre-templated out, so we can say within 7 days of the project generation, we expect task A, B, and C to be completed, whereas task D, E, and F are expected to be delivered within a month of the project commencing. So those are all automatically generated as well as this estimated time. And this ties into a cool piece of functionality that I personally has been asking for a while, which is some improvements that we've made to our forecasting module against project tickets. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to assign a couple of these tickets to a consultant. And you'll see this forecasting tab update based on Jennifer being assigned to a couple of tasks against this project. So previously, what we had to do for this forecasting tab was basically manual input. So this is essentially attempting to calculate how much time a person has within a given week to deliver on some of these tasks against this project. Previously, we kind of had to manually enter an estimated time against each week for that to update. What we've added in the coming version is that this forecasting tab will automatically be calculated based on the tasks associated to this project and assigned to the engineer in question. So it's going to take these estimated hours, it's going to take the start and target dates of these tickets, and it's going to automatically apply a certain number of hours to that agent under the forecasting tab, which means from a project manager's point of view, if they're trying to assign tasks and schedule time during the week, this is kind of a one-stop shop where they can view all of their agents' availability and calculate who is going to be the best person to be assigned to a particular task. What we can also see is against this ticket under additional fields, my statement of work has been automatically transferred to the project ticket as well. So again, PMs can go into their ticket and see the detailed breakdown of the deliverables associated to the project. We can also configure certain milestones. So against this task view, you'll see these tasks are grouped by milestone. Those milestones can have their own dependencies. So maybe certain tasks can't be completed until a certain milestone is complete. So we can essentially lock off those tickets and say these tickets can't be actioned until milestone X has been closed. So you can really control the order of events and the process that your technicians need to go down in order to optimally deliver on these project outcomes. Again, all of our budgets are pre-templated, and this is a really easy place for your PMs to come in and see what's over budget. We can allocate particular budget types to certain tasks. We can assign rates to those budgets and allocate a budgeted amount of hours. And as I start performing time entries on this project, you'll see the completed value will increase and kind of deplete from the budget. And when we go over budget, it will highlight it in red and make it really clear to your PMs that something maybe has gone wrong during this project implementation. And we can also tie that into calendars and the forecasting module as well. So if I'm going into forecasting and starting to schedule time with our engineers, we can have that update our scheduled hours. So we can really drill into the data and how that project is currently performing. And that ties in with other integrations we have with Exchange calendars, for example, where we can automatically create appointments in Exchange and allocate time for your engineers to perform those tasks against the project. Drilling into these a bit more, we can get really granular with how we template these project tasks. So we can even provide a segmented to-do list against each task. So we're really clear on what needs to be completed in order for this task to be considered as closed. We can even place limitations in the system, whereby we can say that only after all to-do lists have been actioned can the engineer go in and close this ticket. So we can really provide detailed instructions to your engineers over what needs to be done associated to this project. What I'm going to do here is flip a few statuses. So maybe we've marked this in progress, mark this as closed. Again, getting that pop-up because I've not marked off my to-do tasks. But once we close that ticket and flip into here, you'll see those statuses reflected from this list view as well. What we can also flip between is our Kanban view to give you a bit more of an easier to read breakdown of the tasks associated with this project and their current status. We can also utilize the start and target dates to give you a Gantt view, so we can see for a given day what needs to be completed by task and also by the agent who's assigned to that task. I switch back to the task view. You'll see the PM can really at a glance view the current status of this project and manage it successfully and make sure that all of the tasks are assigned to the relevant people at the right time. What I also wanted to show you, I'm conscious I'm slightly running out of time here, is some of the new features we've also added in to trials. So flipping into here, this also ties in with the reporting element I mentioned earlier. So what we've added into all new trials today and what can be implemented as well into existing Halo instances is this nice project management dashboard, which is designed to give you an overall snapshot of all of the projects you're currently managing within the system. So we can see each one of these is its own project with the ticket ID and associated tasks. We can see a bit of a breakdown of customer information on the right, as well as the timeline for project completion. And I can click into any one of these and it will take me directly to the project ticket where I can start assigning tasks and updating statuses against those. Cool. I'm now going to go back into the sales order and we can start talking about the billing process for this project once it has been completed. So we've made a few improvements here over the last 6 months. So one of the things I want to talk about is associated to milestone billing. So what we can do against our project ticket is for each one of these milestones, we can associate that with a monetary value of the sales order. And we can schedule that for automatic billing based on that milestone being marked as complete. So once we complete, say, planning and assessments, maybe we want to then bill for 25% of this project and the rest upon completion, we can tie that in directly to the milestone, so you don't have to worry about setting up notifications and things to your finance people when certain milestones or certain phases are completed against the project. What we've also added into the new version that I can't quite demonstrate today is some down payment invoicing functionality. So we've added in the ability to create down payment invoices directly from the sales order and sync that over to your accounting tool under a down payment accounts code. And we can then reconcile those invoices directly from Halo as well. So it will pick up on the amount of down payment and create a zero value invoice, moving revenue from your down payment account into the true accounts code for that item. For today, just to keep things simple, I'm just going to create an invoice for the entire amount of this project. We do have the option to create for a certain percentage or for given lines as well. And it is at this point that this would integrate into your accounting platform. So we have native integrations with pretty much every accounting platform that you may be using, so QuickBooks, Xero, Sage, etc. This invoice, once generated, would sync over, and you'd have that available here, and we can have status updates passing back and forth. And I'm going to hand over to Adam now to kind of talk about the payment reconciliation process for that as well.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. It's great. Super cool, actually. So I'm going to share my screen. I guess I need to do that. All right. So we basically pick it up from that point. So once that invoice is created, and I'm in a different Halo instance, so I'm gonna just show you really quickly. That invoice for the project can then be, there's a bunch of ways it can be paid, right? You could have Halo send that invoice out automatically with a payment link. We can auto process it. That's ideal. Like get all your customers on auto processing and stop all those manual clicks. We can automatically send those invoices out via Benji Pays, via our invoice rover feature. There's a lot of different things we can do. It doesn't matter how that invoice is generated. To Benji Pays and invoices and invoice. So I'm going to just show you the, automation hopefully is invisible and hard to see. It just works. So I'm going to show you the manual steps that the automation does. So let's assume we're just going to create an invoice here really quickly. And we'll put the line item on here, and I got to choose an invoice date. So we'll save that. And so a few things are happening here. So first of all, we've created that invoice in Halo. That's invoice 2330. We go over into QuickBooks. We're going to see invoice 2330 is there. So Halo's instantly sent that invoice over to QuickBooks. And in Benji Pays, we're also going to see, just going to refresh this page. We're going to see invoice 2330. So we've all got an instant sync here. It really keeps things up to date, makes your workflow very quick and easy to use. So from here, like we could go ahead and process the payment ourselves as the merchant, or ideally, what the customer can do that on their own if it's not an auto pay. So what you're seeing here is Halo's end user portal. Benji Pays has a best-in-class integration with Halo, with full SSO using the Halo IDP, which is great. So I'm logged in as an end user. If I go here, what we're going to see is the Benji Pays customer portal, the payment portal, embedded in an iframe right within Halo. There's no second logins, no extra addresses, websites to remember for your customer. Just everything in one place where they can manage their tickets, view their past invoices, manage their payment methods, whatever they need to do. So in this case, we could see invoice 2330 is here as well. I can view that invoice from here. We're going to pull the PDF invoice from Halo. You can optionally also have it come from your accounting system, but most folks will want it coming from Halo. We can also embed a payment link, a payment button right on those PDFs. We've got support articles on our site on how to do that. In this case, I'm just going to pay that invoice. So I'm going to just pay the one invoice. I could pay more than one if I wanted to. We're going to use the save profile and process that payment. So what's happening here? Well, first of all, I need to accept the surcharge that we have turned on. If I was using a bank payment, then I wouldn't need to do that. I also could have added a new bank account or credit card at the same time. So I'm going to accept that. What's happening now is we're processing that payment via the payment gateway. That payment was approved. We can see the invoice here is no longer showing under open. It's going to show under paid. If we go back into QuickBooks Online and have a look, just refresh this page, we can see that this invoice is now showing as paid. Just take a look at that here and see what's happened. So Benji Pays has posted the payment to the invoice in QuickBooks Online. We can see it has a $0 balance. If we go into that payment in QuickBooks, we're going to see a couple things here. So first of all, we've applied the amount for the payment. We've actually taken care of the surcharge accounting as well and created an entry for that so that you don't have to do that. It's all just taken care of and makes it easy to reconcile. And you're also going to see all the details of the payment are stored in QuickBooks as well, which makes it great for your bookkeeper or whoever's doing your bank reconciliations, or for like chasing things down later on if you need to. You don't have to go into Benji Pays. We try to put things in multiple spots, so it's wherever you need it. So at the same time, and this sometimes takes a minute or two. If we go back in here, we'll see if this shows. And yeah, it shows as paid as well, 428. So that is all happened all automatically for you. You don't have to do anything to, especially just like send it out to the customer. Hopefully that was an automated process. So I love that milestone automation, because that means like that invoice that gets generated, it probably automatically gets sent out to the customer from Halo. It probably also automatically gets processed by auto pay on the due date by Benji Pays, and you've literally eliminated multiple steps for your team. That's really great. So if we go back into Benji Pays, I'll just show you a couple other features we have in here that that can help with your AR. So the main one is we've got a ton of reporting and whatnot, but the main one is Invoice Rover. So Invoice Rover is our automated chasing or dunning tool. It can do a bunch of things. It could send out new invoices as they're created automatically. It can send out reminders of upcoming invoices, say, hey, your payment's going to come out on the 1st. It's aware of auto pay. So it'll say, you're already on auto pay. There's nothing for you to do. Or you can click here and pay now early if you want, and that'll mark the invoice as paid. They won't get charged again later. But the big one is probably automating overdue invoices. And what we do, one thing, like I'm a software developer. My business partner, Avery, he's an infrastructure guy. We started at MSPs years ago. We're technology folks through and through. And so when we look at these problems, we get really detailed. We kind of geek out on the details. And so what we've done with Invoice Rover is you have an unlimited number of rules that you can set up. It's highly configurable. So if you want a rule for one specific person, you can do that, or one specific customer. Right now, this rule would only apply to Acorn. You can set up multiple periods. You can say, look, on 1 day overdue, I'm going to do this. On 2 days overdue, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have different email templates. So maybe at 10 or 30, we do something else. And these email templates can have escalating language. You can automatically, as the invoice ages, start sending out some escalating language, CC your team if you need to, so that they know, hey, it's time to either pause services or follow up. And this is all just going to run in the background and really drive your outstanding AR down, improve your cash flow. So the whole goal here is to get DSO, days sales outstanding, how many days it takes to turn an invoice into cash, down as low as possible. So yes, that's Invoice Rover, super detailed, tons of configuration options. And it's just a good example of the level of detail we go to in general in the platform. And you'll actually see right on your homepage, I believe this is for QBO users right now, but we're going to show you your historical DSO as well, which is super handy. Yeah, and like I said, automate that happy path and automate the chasing. That's all I got for today. Hopefully that's helpful.
Nice.
That was awesome.
Adam.
We did it with 4 minutes to spare.
We did. Good job.
Looks like we've got a few questions in the chat as well. So, Alan, yeah, we will make sure to share a recording to everyone after this call. I think someone's also asked where they can find that project management dashboard that I demoed. So I'm probably going to regret this, but I'm going to put my email address in here. If anyone is interested in that, I will send over the setup process rather than talk through it now. Yeah, I guess anyone else have any questions? There's one there for you, Adam. What is the link for Benji Pays subprocessor list? Don't see it on the website.
If they're referring to payment processors, we have that under, I believe it's under features. And if you're referring to like the other systems we use, just fire us an email, support@benjipays.com, and we'll get you that.
There's one here with the, is it possible to use the new project things that you showed, Alex, without Quoter? I believe the answer is yes, but I'll let you speak to that one.
Yeah, so Halo does have its own quoting tool. I'd say Quota is obviously a dedicated quoting tool, so it's a lot more specialized in what they do. I'd say the way you guys handle optional items and dynamic kind of PDF generation as well is quite good. But for everything that we demonstrated today, yes, you could probably do that from within Halo.
Another question from Ronald here. Can you show again the steps you showed when creating quote details from a template?
Yes. Share my screen. So I guess there's two templates I went through today. There was the SOW template. So that is stored against the line item on the quote. So I've got this tab here, statement of work. So that is all pre-templated out. And then there's an automation running in the background to pull that into the opportunity ticket. Again, that's something that's available out of the box for new implementers of Halo. If you are an existing customer, again, just contact me through my email address. I can send over the setup documentation. And then the other element that I spoke about in terms of templatizing was the project itself. So that is done within configuration, tickets, and then templates. And you'll see I've got my Microsoft Copilot configuration template where I can preset any values, assign this, set the assigned agent. All of my tasks are pre-templated as well with all those to-do lists that I showed you, as well as the milestones. And then those are tied to the item again under this project template field, so that when you view it on the sales order, you're a button click away from spinning up that pre-templated project.
Awesome.
Very
We're
cool.
pretty much at the top of the hour here. So yeah, thanks a lot, Alex and the Halo team for having us on the webinar here. Maybe we'll share the demo link one more time. If anyone's interested in discussing anything that was showed across HaloPSA, Benji Pays, of course, or ScalePad Lifecycle Manager or Quoter, there's a QR code here if you want to book some time with a member of our respective teams. Yeah, thanks a lot, Alex, and thank you.
Yeah,
Adam.
thanks, Alex.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
It's been a pleasure.